Welcome to Reviewing Carlton, The Final Say. I'm your host, Andy. Today, we're diving into the opening chapter of Carlton's memoir, exploring his childhood in London's East End and the profound influence his father had on his life. This episode will take us on an emotional journey through Carlton's early years, his mischievous adventures, and the unbreakable bond he shared with his dad. Get ready for a thoughtful and sometimes poignant look at family, growing up, and the lasting impact of a father's love. Carlton's childhood in London's East End was shaped by strict working-class parents who instilled a sense of morality and tradition. While not impoverished, Carlton and his sister experienced a tough upbringing typical of the area. As the older sibling, Carlton often found himself at the centre of trouble, facing disciplinary measures like the belt or slipper when things went wrong. Carlton's father, a former merchant navy man, had travelled the world twice over before settling down to start a family. He bought a cafe in Brent Cross with his savings, marking the beginning of their family life. Interestingly, Carlton's unusual name for 1950s London was a choice between Carlton and Eugene, with his parents opting for the former. As a child, Carlton was mischievous, but not malicious. His adventures often led to injuries and hospital visits, like the time he leapt off his father's car in a Batman costume, resulting in a broken arm. These escapades, while worrying for his parents, were part of Carlton's vibrant and active childhood in the East End. Carlton's relationship with his father was a cornerstone of his childhood, shaping his character and leaving lasting impressions. His dad's calm and patient approach to parenting stood in stark contrast to his mother's quick temper. When Carlton found himself in trouble, which was often, his father would talk through the issues rather than yelling, teaching valuable lessons through conversation. Their bond was particularly evident during times of illness. Carlton's father would sit up all night with him, offering comfort and care. This dedication extended to everyday life, with his dad making time to play football and attend Carlton's matches, despite a busy schedule. One pivotal moment came when Carlton's father took him to his first West Ham game. The excitement of that day, from carrying his own crate to stand on, to experiencing the electric atmosphere of Upton Park, became a defining memory of their relationship. Carlton's father also imparted practical skills. He taught Carlton to swim using the throw-them-in-at-the-deep-end method, which, while initially shocking, instilled a sense of resilience and self-reliance. This approach extended to other areas of life, with his father allowing Carlton to make his own mistakes, while always being there to support him if needed. As Carlton entered his teenage years, his mischievous nature evolved into more serious situations. At 14, he found himself in a relationship with an 18-year-old girl named Tina. What started as innocent hanging out quickly escalated, leading to an unexpected pregnancy. This event was just the beginning of Carlton's tumultuous teenage experiences. In his final year of school, he faced another life-changing situation when his girlfriend Teresa also became pregnant. The social stigma surrounding teenage pregnancies in those days was intense, and both couples faced immense pressure from their families. Carlton found himself isolated from friends, caught between the expectations of adulthood and the reality of still being a child himself. The situation with Teresa was particularly heart-wrenching, as her parents forced the adoption of their child. Carlton was even denied the right to have his name on the birth certificate, a pain he carried with him for years. These early relationships and their consequences had a profound impact on Carlton's life. They forced him to confront adult responsibilities far earlier than most of his peers, shaping his character and influencing his future decisions. Despite the challenges, these experiences also demonstrated Carlton's resilience and ability to navigate difficult situations, traits that would serve him well in his later years. As Carlton entered adulthood, the bond with his father only grew stronger. His dad remained a constant source of support and wisdom, always there to lend a hand or offer advice. Whether it was helping Carlton with his first car or teaching him valuable life skills, his father's influence was ever present. One memorable incident involved Carlton's misadventure with his new Vauxhall Viva. After accidentally filling it with diesel instead of petrol, he turned to his dad for help. Despite the embarrassment of being towed by his father's hand-painted Austin A40, Carlton couldn't help but appreciate his dad's unwavering support. Even as Carlton approached his 40s, his father, now in his 60s, continued to assist with various household tasks. From electrical work to plumbing, gardening to car repairs, his dad's knowledge and willingness to help seemed endless. It was during these moments that Carlton truly began to appreciate the depth of their relationship and the wealth of practical knowledge his father had passed on to him. This ongoing support extended beyond practical matters. When Carlton finally decided to join the Freemasons, following in his father's footsteps, it opened up a new avenue for them to spend quality time together. These lodge meetings became cherished moments, strengthening their bond even further. As Carlton's father entered his later years, the family was faced with a heartbreaking challenge: dementia. This cruel illness slowly began to rob them of the man they knew and loved. It started with simple forgetfulness, but soon escalated into severe memory loss, confusion, and physical decline. The family watched helplessly as Carlton's father, once a strong and capable man, became increasingly vulnerable. Hospital stays became frequent, and the strain on everyone was palpable. Carlton recalls visiting his father in Queen's Hospital, where the staff did their best to care for him under difficult circumstances. One particularly poignant moment stands out. Carlton arrived to find his father with a cut on his head. It turned out that, in an attempt to maintain his dignity, his father had been trying to go to the bathroom alone, not realizing he was no longer capable of doing so safely. As the illness progressed, the family made the difficult decision to move Carlton's father to a care home. The visits continued, but each one brought new heartache as they witnessed his further decline. Carlton remembers one visit where he didn't even recognize his father at first. So dramatic was the change in his appearance. Throughout this ordeal, the family rallied together, coordinating visits and doing their best to provide comfort and support. But the reality of dementia's relentless march was inescapable. Carlton's last coherent conversation with his father was a tearful one, with his dad expressing his frustration and sadness at his condition. In the end, Carlton's father was moved to a specialist nursing home in Upminster. Here, in a ground-floor room with a view of the garden, he spent his final days. The family's experience with dementia was a brutal reminder of life's fragility and the importance of cherishing our loved ones while we can. As Carlton's father's condition worsened, the family gathered around him in his final days. In a poignant moment, Carlton asked for privacy with his dad, holding his hand and giving him permission to let go. Shortly after, Norman passed away peacefully in his sleep. The family was determined to give Norman a proper send-off that reflected his life and passions. They planned a personal and special funeral, working tirelessly to arrange every detail. On the day of the service, around 150 people attended, including family, friends, lodge members, and even some colourful characters from Norman's past. The funeral was a touching tribute to Norman's life. His coffin was draped with a Bobby Moore shirt, honouring his love for West Ham United. As I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles played, a bubble machine filled the air, reminiscent of the atmosphere at Upton Park where father and son had shared so many memories. At the end of the service, 83 claret and blue balloons were released, one for each year of Norman's life. Despite the sombre occasion, many guests commented that it had been a fitting celebration of Norman's life. Carlton's eulogy, though challenging to deliver, was a final heartfelt tribute to the man who had been there for him throughout his entire life. As we reflect on Carlton's father's life, we uncover layers of complexity that were previously hidden. It's fascinating to learn that this seemingly ordinary man led an extraordinary life. His time in the Navy had more depth than just owning a pet monkey. He had fathered a child in Germany, a fact that remained unknown to Carlton for years. Despite his adventurous past, Carlton's father chose to present himself as a simple, family-oriented man. He never boasted about his experiences or sought to impress his children with tales of his youth. Instead, he focused on being a loving, supportive father. This humble approach speaks volumes about his character. He was a man of quiet strength, who valued family above all else. His occasional displays of physical prowess, like effortlessly throwing a large co-worker to the ground, hint at hidden depths. Carlton's father's impact on his life was profound. He taught Carlton not just through words, but through actions. His unwavering support, his gentle guidance, and his ability to let Carlton make his own mistakes while always being there to help, shaped Carlton into the man he became. In the end, Carlton's father left a legacy of love, strength, and integrity. His life serves as a powerful reminder that true heroism often lies in the quiet, consistent acts of love and support we offer our families. As we wrap up this episode, it's clear that Carlton's father played an immeasurable role in shaping his life. From the tough love of his childhood to the unwavering support in adulthood, and even through the heartbreaking struggle with dementia, their bond remained unbreakable. The key themes that emerge are resilience, unconditional love, and the profound impact a parent can have on their child's life. Carlton's father was a man of quiet strength, teaching valuable life lessons through his actions rather than words. In the end, despite the pain of loss, Carlton's memories of his father are filled with love, respect, and gratitude. His father's legacy lives on, not just in Carlton, but in the values and lessons passed down to future generations. It's a poignant reminder of the enduring power of a father's love and the indelible mark it leaves on our lives. Rest in peace, Mr. Norman Leach. Like, subscribe, and share to help us hack the algorithm. Drop a comment to let us know what you think of this review, and do join us for the next episode, where we hear about Carlton's school days in London.